Hey guys, Firedragon here, and welcome back to Locked Heart. Back to Royal's Route, shall we? Here we go. Right where we left off. I felt a warm and unexpected light. It was a funny sensation, as if I were floating through a warm summer day. I did not want to open my eyes and find out where I was. I just wanted to keep drifting. I had been stuck at the Deluxe Mansion for 3 weeks now, with no end to my stay in sight. Not that I didn't enjoy the company of everyone. Even Royal was slowly losing his grumpy edge with me. I kept myself busy with chores and cooking practice. But still, I yearned to be free. Maybe that's why this feeling was. Freedom. It felt nice. Mm. As I tried to settle on this sensation, I heard a faint female voice call my name. It was gentle and non-threatening, and I forgot my previous determination to ignore where I was. Opening my eyes, I looked around with my bleary vision, but there was nothing except a white background. Aura! The voice continued to beckon me as I looked back and forth across the whiteness. A small figure soon cut its way into the nothingness. I drifted towards her, only then realizing neither of us were actually taking steps and the distance between us vanished. Is this a dream? Who is... It's whatever her name was. I forgot her name because it's been forever. If you're watching this and have not watched the previous route, you should go do that, because this is the second route I'm doing. The girl looked young, but she was beautiful. Her eyes were vibrant blue, and her hair was a cascade of long golden locks. Ooh, there's a choice here. Save it over. Yes, save it over that. Still coming closer, she extends her hand to me. Well, I know who she is since I've played. I've already played through Soul's route. I know who she is, so I'm taking her hand. Unable to explain the calm feeling I felt, I raced towards her. The soft smile on her lips was warm as her hand. Who are you? What do you think you're doing? My eyes flickered open at the what do you think you're doing? See, that's the familiar but unseen voice breaking through my reverie. It seemed I'd been asleep, but as my sight adjusted to the haze, I only saw unfamiliar surrounding in the dim light. Hello! After a few turns of my head, I looked forward, still in the kneeling position. Sitting in the velvet seat was a beautiful porcelain doll, her hair spun like gold. My breath caught in my throat. Not only was I holding the doll's small hand, but it felt impossibly warm. What? Blue eyes shone with the moonlight. Her faint pink lips were curved into a sweet smile. But the longer I looked at her, the more I saw a whisper of sadness behind that happy facade. There was something uncomfortably real about her. I didn't get to dwell on it for long, however, before Royal's voice came after me again. You! What are you doing here? The icy chill in his raised voice finally dragged me away from my thoughts. I blinked in again, and how I was kneeling before the beautiful doll, my fingers gently holding onto her hand. Huh? What? Failing to produce an answer, I looked over at Royal with a half-panicked, half-angry expression. The third thing, I didn't know what I was doing here. Either I must have been a dream, or I may have sleptwalked to her. But that sounded too silly to admit to Royal. He remained quite unimpressed. It had been a while since his glare was that frozen. It's the middle of the night. What are you doing in her room? Her forehead furrowed with suspicion. Royal crossed his arms and advanced towards me. More importantly, how do you know where she is? Can I say I played this again, but this was a second time route, so I already knew. Can I say that and break the fourth wall? Ha 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 ha. I glanced about the unfamiliar room, only just coming to the conclusion I had somehow wandered the halls and ended up in such a special room. Thinking back to the previous conversation, I recalled the toys commiserating that only the youngest heir remained lifeless, or heiress remained lifeless, even though she'd become a toy too. Is this gold, Deluxe? Aura. My eyes. Oh, did you like gold? Did you like gold? I think you did. It's clearly obvious. My eyes widened as I shivered as the young girl's voice from a dream called out, oh, that was her. Aura. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I was. My eyes widened as I shivered as the young girl's voice from a dream called out to me again. Warmth swelled in my chest and a bright line shone where our fingers connected. I stood in a panic as the light spread to my chest. But whether it was from kneeling for so long or from fear, my legs buckled. I know what's going to happen. The light swallowed up the room as I felt my body collapse. Ah! Ow! I fully expected to hit the ground, so there was no doubt. I fully expected to hit the ground, so I was no doubt startled when my body hurt less than it should have. To add to my confusion, it was harder to breathe. Something heavy was pressed down on my chest. Hi! Okay, let me just let me just look at this. Do I want to change my background from soul to this? That face. I like that face. I like it. Almost 1 a.m. fangirling. Oh, wow. Yes, it's almost 1 a.m. Don't judge me. Just looking at his face. I look upwards. My entire body froze at the sight of silver eyes and a handsome face glaring down at me. You know, I like anime guys with black hair and stuff. I also like guys with silver hair, but he's got silver eyes and black hair, which is, I don't know about the silver eyes thing, but the black hair is really cool. So, I like him. My entire body froze at the sight of the silver eye. I read that. His dark hair tangled between us like icicles. I didn't know where he'd come from, especially when there had been no one in the mansion besides myself and the toys for weeks. What? His glare felt so familiar. I tried to stutter out some kind of response, but a gruff, impatient growl cut me off. Oh. I don't know what to give him now, because I can't give him this voice because he's now in his human form. It doesn't quite fit. It's still gruff. I need to give him a slightly gruffer voice, but not, I don't know what to do. Oh, no. He says he had his, in a gruff kind of voice. Gruff kind of. I'll just raise the voice. I won't have it as low as this. I'll have it a little bit higher. I'll just lower the voice. I'll just lower the voice, okay? No, I can't. Why am I such a bother? Royal, why do I have to give you such a grumpy, gruff voice? What did you? I'll just raise it a tiny bit. What did you do, you idiot? You baka. The thought to urge to defend myself was against his fury was strong. Both curious and fear took over my senses. Let's try to look at him again. Look at his face. Okay, I'm done. Blinking, I changed the subject. Wait, who are you anyway? The guy's brow furrowed, his silver eyes glinted. With a snort, he leaned closer, as if trying to examine my face for clarification. Did you hit your head or something? Heat flooded my face as the distance between us shrunk even more. I knew he was kneeling over me, but only now did the intimacy factor strike me at full force. Pervert! Thrusting my hands upward, I knocked the stranger off me. He landed on the carpet with a thud and immediately shuffled backwards until I hit the wall. A low growl spilled into the air as the guy lifted himself into a seated position, and his growl enveloped into a snarl. What was that all about, you stupid girl? I think if I keep it like this, it should be fine. It's not too gruff. It's gruff enough, but it's not too low. You have an earring. Sorry, the familiarity of his voice, those insults, the memory of a teddy bear filling my senses. I started to tremble at the knowledge I gained. Only one person, her toy, calls me that, and that's... Thrusting my fingers forward, I tried to yell, but the shock warped my words instead. You're royal? Are you scared because he was being supposedly perverted, or is it because he's hot? His half-lidded stare revealed a flicker of amusement before he descended back into what was looking like I had ruined his dinner. I am. What's wrong with you? Have you forgotten how to talk properly? I could only stare with my mouth agape and my heart pounding in my chest. Strangely, it wasn't royal being human that surprised me as much as his actual appearance. With his gloomy and grumpy attitude, I'd completely expected something different. Not anything like this handsome guy. See? She knows what I'm talking about. I think also... No. Whoop, don't need to see that. Oh, yes, though. Yes, he is handsome. But I don't know who's hotter, him or Soul. Choices. You're acting really stupid right now. Why are you so surprised? It's like he doesn't know. It's not like I'm magically transformed. Can I just how he no, it doesn't notice he was holding her. He can't hold her as a bear. Oh boy, Royal, pay attention to the story, please. Whenever people transform, I guess they don't feel themselves transforming. Hey, they all just show up at that time. Okay, I'll read the rest of his line. You're acting really stupid right now. Why are you so surprised anyway? It's not like I'm magically transformed into... Suddenly, the door flung open, revealing more unfamiliar humans in a mansion supposedly populated by toys. Hi, Soul. I missed you. You're so still my favorite. You were the first. Unlike the guy calling himself Royal, all of them sported mind-blowing expressions. There were two guys both with striking blonde hair. One's hairstyle was short while the other was tied into a small ponytail, completed with a green ribbon. Soul, love you! Because you were the first one, and you were so kind to me. Now I'm stuck with the grumpy guy, and then I got this guy in the end. There was a similarity to their handsome features, as if they were possibly related. I wonder. A petite girl with pink blonde hair tied to the left and a beautiful lady with long black hair and a fierce atmosphere about her stood next to them. My cheeks flushed again. I began to doubt my own appearance to so many attractive people in the room. Royal balked. His irritation looked replaced by genuine surprise. You guys too? But how?
We'd like to ask the same thing.
I remember Lily's voice, sort of.
All of us saw the same bright light, and the next thing we knew, we were humans again. I think your voice is actually a bit higher. I don't remember.
The party at the door all murmured in agreement and nodded their heads at one another. After a pause of awkward silence, Royal swiveled to shoot me a fresh venom glare. I stiffened. I was only used to the teddy bear version of his glares, and those did not prepare me for the silver-eyed and his picturesque human face. You have a lot of explaining to do, girl. Tilting my head to the side, I can only manage a quiet groan in response. Even I didn't know what was going on. After a while, we all gathered in the dining room to discuss what had happened. It took some time because soon after returning to human form, everyone felt a raw pain of hunger, something they had not suffered in 7 years. Oddly enough, the fridge had also been affected by the magic of the curse. I just opened the fridge and I could find whatever ingredient I needed. Very specific. So I'd been practicing a few recipes since I came here. I'd only been the one who could try them, so it felt good to finally be able to share my cooking with everyone. After setting the table with a variety of quick but filling dishes, I settled down at the far end and watched with relief and happiness as they helped themselves to the dishes. Oh, this is divine, Lady Aura. Certainly on par with Miss Aru, whatever your mom's name's cooking was. And so offered me a smile as he picked up another forkful of risco and indulged into his meal. Dion grinned, grabbing a fresh helping of cheesy potatoes and omelet. I think this is even better than hers. My smile widened at their compliments. I didn't think I'd surpass my mom just yet, but it felt good to hear their praise. Wait on, I just being 1 a.m. right now. Royal's 19, so I think he's the oldest out of all the boys. So 7 years ago, he would have been 12? Really? Because I know they were like children, maybe. These two. Yeah, Royal would have been 12. Well, that's a nice way to go through your teen years. My mom's the one who taught me everything. Sorry about that really random side tangent. I just just blew in here. I'm not as good as her yet, but someday I'm sure I'll become the best chef in the whole world. There was a snort from the other end of the table. Probably Royal. The whole world? Quite the lofty delusion, girl. I glared back at Royal, puffing on my cheeks. I noticed he wasn't holding back on his portions, so he couldn't think my food was that bad. Gee, thanks for breaking this young maiden's heart, Grumpy Bear. He then returned to his meal, pointedly averting my eyes. After everyone had eaten, we started discussing everything from the beginning. As it turned out, the curse hadn't kept everyone from aging. They are now 7 years older. Okay, now I could bring up the topic about Royal being 12 and Dion and whatever. No, Dion and Sol. I'm sorry. Dion and Sol, whatever age they were, and Lily, whatever she was. That shocked everyone. Because the guys just went through years of they skipped years of puberty. That is basically what they did. And I guess you could say that's a good thing, maybe? I don't know. Oh, see. Okay, so she's 17.
I was only 10 when the curse began.
She paused, looking down at her hands, still trying to comprehend the years she had spent as a doll. Dion leaned forward, snugging his chin to his palm. A playful grin spread across his face. Who would have thought our little crybaby would become such a fine lady? Flushing a deep red, Lily pressed her hands into her lap and stared down at the table.
You're embarrassing me, Lord Dion. And Lily, I as Lily actually like Sol, if you saw in the previous route.
Oh wait, what was that? Dion smirked, waving his hands in a dismissive gesture. How many times do I have to tell you just to simply call me Dion? We're practically family now. Flinching, Lily shook her head vigorously.
I can't do that, Lord Dion. You're a member of the Deluxe family, and I will always dress you formally.
With a shrug of faint of defeat, Dion bobbed his head in Sol's direction.
How about Sol? You even now you call him Prince.
I hid a smile that beamed behind my hands as Lily's cheeks went scarlet, as her voice sounded more panicked than before.
That's, well, Prince Soul doesn't mind, Soul.
Oh, really, Soul? He turned his head towards his brother, his smirk widened, his perfect teeth flashing. Yes, I'm saving you for last, so you feel special then. Soul's smile was gentle and unamused as he lifted his cup of tea to his lips. If Lady Aura wishes to call me Prince, then that is fine with me. Although, I have to admit, it is quite embarrassing.
I miss you, Soul. Let me love you again.
I'm no prince after all.
But you are.
He offered another smile at Lily's outburst, causing a new outbreak of red to stain Lily's cheeks. She fidgeted where she sat, glancing at Soul from beneath her pink cotton candy bangs. Since I had arrived here, I noticed Lily acted shy around Soul. Shy around Soul. In the few conversations we shared, she would speak highly of him and marvel over his princely charms. It was cute, though Soul seemed oblivious to her crush. Though, if I'm correct, if you saw the previous route, I think he knew. Shh. How lucky are you, little brother? Still teasing, Dion reached over and snagged a biscuit from Soul's plate. Soul didn't say anything, his eyebrows lifting in confusion. Dion let out an exasperated sigh. Never mind. He stretched his arm forward and waggled his fingers. Anyways, I'm quite pleased that I grew up into such a handsome young man. Just like before, Royal snorted and answered. Royal snort answered from Dion out of nowhere. He lifted a hand to his ear, brushing off some of his dark hair back. I never expected I can't read at 1 a.m. I never expected Royal to look so attractive, with his dark complexion and piercing silver eyes. Thankfully, he hadn't noticed I had been staring at him through all our late-night feast. Too bad you're still so short. Ha! And you're still scary looking as ever. In an instant, the mood shifted. Both Royal and Dion snapped attention and didn't dare to continue their banter. Miss Maria lowered her hand from her mouth and paused, her lips pursed in a prim line. It still baffled me how young Miss Maria looked. She was quite beautiful. Her raven black hair was long and silky, her skin smooth and seemed more physically fit than me. When she had been introduced as the nanny, I assumed Miss Maria was nearing her 50s, like a harsh grandmother that had spared no one. Anyways, going back to the original topic, this was the Royal. This was the voice I gave her, right? Anyways, Royal, you're saying that the light appeared when Lady Aura was near Lady Gold. You don't call me Lady Aura. When Aura was near Lady Gold? Yes. He glanced at me for an answers. His expression crinkled with annoyance, as if my existence was troublesome for him again. I thought we were on okay terms, but with everything that happened, maybe our relationship was reset. An odd sadness tightened in my chest. But Lady Gold... I'm gonna end this soon, I'm tired. Okay, but Lady Gold has yet to return to normal, so it means the curse is still not broken. Miss Maria sighed and crossed her arms as she considered her statement with care. An air of disappointment passed over the table. Despite the fact that everyone was human again, the unending loss of gold hung over them. Even I lost my smile. Gold was important to everyone here. Restoring everyone but her made me feel as though I had failed, despite not knowing what I did, or if I did anything at all. Okay, I am going to end it here. I'm tired. Oh boy. Okay, well, late night recordings do that, but of course this video won't be uploaded at like 1 a.m., but now you know when I'm recording this. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We got to see, here, let's go to the menu, shall we? So, go to gallery. See, we're in Royals, yeah. I missed one? What? When did I miss one? Hold on a minute. Got it. Got this. We got this. This is totally it. Though the urge to help him was strong, I continued to sweep my own spot. Given Royal's attitude, I'd get brushed off with some snide remark I'd had enough of those to last me the week. I knew it! Amidst my sulking, I heard creaking sound and looked back behind me. Somehow the stack of hardcover books had been dislodged together and they were teetering towards where Royal had jumped down to the floor. My heart twisted in fear. Look out! I instinctively threw myself over Royal, shielding the small bear against the onslaught of books. Pain exploded across my back and my limbs with every hit. I knew it! You! And here I thought I was the clumsy one. I managed a small smile despite the excruciating pain coursing through my body. He just stared evenly as my vision blurred and the room tilted sideways. I managed one last sharp, painful breath. Now we're even. And then everything went dark. Keep this for me, Aura, until the day you meet that person. I held out my hand to accept a rusty, broken locket. It looked like it might have been beautiful once. Beneath the damage that had gathered over the years. Who is this person you're talking about? Mother didn't answer my question. My heart ached. The once vibrant mother I knew looked pale and weak, her illness already taking a toll on her body. A single tear rolled out of her eyes, smiling before fading to the light around me. I'm sorry. Mother, wait! I bolted upright, setting off a kaleidoscope of pain over my body, a dull throb at the base of my skull, and spread outwards. Ow! You should lie down for a while. Besides me, Royal sat with a solemn expression on his face. We were still in the library on the floor, where the books had fallen, but I noticed all the books were gone. I wonder how long I had been unconscious. How are you feeling? I intended to be sarcastic, saying I felt like I had been hit by a ton of books. But when I reached up to touch my head, I noticed the blanket Royal must have draped over me. So I chose to say something neutral instead. My head hurts, but I'll live. He sighed. It wasn't the same exhale of exasperation, but I'd become used to hearing. It sounded both relieved and yet unhappy. You really are an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. Even his voice wasn't prickly and angry like usual. Well, I kinda did that anyways. I was suddenly worried I may have gotten hit in the head hard, and maybe this was all a dream. I felt the sharp pain in my chest. Nope, this pain was real. But then, you're the one who would have gotten hurt. Shrugging his shoulders, Royal cast me a listless expression, one that didn't suit him at all. I've already told you before, I'm a toy, not a human. I don't feel pain anymore. Oh, now I'm sad. As his voice lost strength and his body slumped against the bookshelf, I felt a surge of emotions rush through me. Don't say that! I bent towards Royal and scowled at him. and for the first time, he seemed surprised. You may have the body of a toy, but your mind and soul of that is of a human. Don't just throw away your humanity like that. For a moment, Royal said nothing, his sad face looking back at me with uncertain curiosity. As expected, there was a vulnerability beneath his thorns, and I couldn't help wondering what caused Royal to doubt himself so much. Then, all at once, as if, our conversation never happened, Royal shook his head with a typical sigh. You're one weird girl. A smile tugged at my mouth. I never thought I'd be happy to hear his exasperated self again. I am, so I'm told. Getting to his feet, Royal reached out as if to touch my head, but then he retreated and crossed his arms. Don't pull another stunt like that. Got it? Though he returned to chastising me, his voice was softer than usual. It had made my cheeks warm at the thought.
I'll try.
Can you stand?
Yes.
His whole body relaxed as he nodded with approval. You better go back to your room and rest that head of yours. Just when I thought we'd made a breakthrough, Royal added to his statement, brow furrowing in mid-glare. Best check you don't have any more loose screws. With that, things were back to normal. Still, I didn't have any complaints after seeing Royal so listless before. I wanted to worry about him some more, but my head started to pound, so I decided to leave things for now. As I got to my feet and headed to the door, I heard a hushed voice behind me. Thank you. Huh? Royal didn't meet my gaze, instead turning to gather up his cleaning implements and continued working. Nothing. You are Tsundere. I know that for a fact now that he is Tsundere. And I went and did this, so, is this all the same? Yeah, well, we'll do that eventually later. But now, wait, yeah, now we can go to the gallery. See, now we have this one. Boop, boop, boop. Then we have that one. See? Then we have this one. And then we have this one. I like that one. That one's nice. So we also, I said before, don't look actually. That spoils. Don't look at that. I want to know what this one is though. I don't know what that one is. We've gotten all these other ones. It's so interesting. But yeah, we got 4 more pictures to go. 2 of which probably I won't be able to get because, you know, I didn't get the other 2 and, oh, yeah, we'll figure something out. But, oh boy, got all that. Ha, that was fun. Now that I actually got that other picture, now we can end the video. Hope you guys enjoyed all this. Check out social medias, my channel. And yeah, it's almost 1:30 a.m. I'm gonna sleep. Bye, guys.